Hi, it's Paddy Hirsch at Marketplace. So a lot of people have been looking at the economy and talking about the possibility of a double-dip recession and wondering what that might look like. Of course, it's all very much speculation because we've no idea what a double-dip recession would look like because we didn't even know that we were in a recession when we were in a recession. So we've been thinking about ways to explain this and sort of thinking about analogies. And the one I like best is something very close to my heart, which is surfing. I don't know if any of you know this, but I'm actually pretty big surfer. Well, not pretty good surfer, but I'm enthusiastic. Anyway, so when you're out surfing and the conditions are good and the sun is out, everyone's happy, everyone's out there beyond the break, and people can get out and surf real easy. And here's my board. I've got this great 7/6 board here with a tri-fin setup. Anyway, so when you get up on the board and you paddle in a usual on a good day, you jump into the wave and you're back and forth across the wave, and then you punch out back up to the lineup. And you go surfing again and again. Everything's fine. But of course, sometimes things don't go so well. Maybe the weather's bad, whatever. So you're out there on the wave, and you're going back and forth and having a good time. What happens is the wave crests, and that's it. You wipe out. Your board goes off one way, up in the air, and you go down the other way. There's you under the water, panicking like crazy, not particularly happy. And the wave comes down and absolutely hammers you. Big wipeout. You're getting spun around under the water. You're choking, and you have no idea when you're under the water how long this is going to last. You have no idea how bad it's going to be until you pop your head back up. And if you're lucky, you pop your head back up and it's all pretty calm and you can get back on the board and you can paddle yourself back out again. That's maybe a little mild downturn. Okay, but sometimes if you're unlucky, you're down there, you get beaten up. It's kind of like when in an economic recession where people are losing jobs and people aren't spending and companies aren't growing, and there's something bad going on. You have no idea how bad it is. You pop your head back up above the water, and all the bean counters can look back on the data in the past and say, yes, we were in a recession then, and this is when we went into it. Surfing-wise, you pop up. If you are in a recession, there's another wave coming towards you. That's what happened. You get buried again by the wave and spun under, and it happens again and again and again until you're like spat out by the water and you're being drifting towards shore. And so this is the situation that we're in kind of right now. We've been spat out by this pretty bad recession. It was a lot worse than we thought it was. So now, like the surfer, we're maybe on our board or maybe just being swept into the beach. And if it was a depression, we'd be lying on the beach with broken bones and a broken board and all the rest of it, and we wouldn't be getting back into the water for a long time. But in our case, I think we are pretty much standing on the beach here, looking out at the waves and trying to decide when we should actually get back in the water again. So we're looking out there. We're trying to get a gauge of the economy. So we're looking at it, and we're not too sure what the economy looks like because we're getting some good indicators. Companies are growing for certain. Well, maybe not growing so much as hoarding lots and lots of cash. But on the other hand, people aren't getting jobs. People aren't being employed. Well, there's some employment in some sectors, but there's some unemployment in other sectors, and we're bouncing around there at about 10% unemployment, maybe more people going off the rolls. It's a bit of a problem. So we're getting kind of a mixed message from the economy. So we're standing there on the beach, looking out, trying to work out when's the best time for us to get back in. Because if we don't get back in, then nothing's going to happen. We're going to be in this stasis. But it's really, really difficult to tell. Maybe the sun's out, maybe the waves look okay, maybe you start paddling out. A couple of things could happen. The first thing that could happen is where you find yourself coming straight back out into the lineup, and here you are, sitting on your board, looking out for the waves to come in, nice and happy. Of course, the other thing that can happen is that you paddle out, and the wave crashes back down again, and there's you buried under the water again. And that's what would happen is if we were in a double dip. We'd go out, we'd think everything was fine, we get smacked by the wave, next thing we know we're buried, we're being maytagged around, it's like being caught on a washing machine, completely disoriented. More and more jobs being lost, companies finding that they overstretch themselves, trying to buy things that they shouldn't have bought, trying to get into markets that aren't productive. That would be a double dip. Now, we don't know what situation we're going to be in. Okay, we're looking at this situation right now, looking at the economy right now, trying to work it out. It could go either way when we do eventually get in. Some companies are beginning to start to acquire other companies, beginning to start hiring, beginning to start thinking about getting into new markets. So the signs on the long term are positive, but in the short term they're very negative because of this unemployment that's lagging. So like I say, we're looking at the weather, looking at the surfing situation, trying to decide whether to get back for a new session. Could go well, could go badly, because if the wave crashed down again and we find ourselves getting buried, that's going to leave all of us very badly needing a drink.